everybody, and welcome back to Is It Kino, your favorite movie review podcast. Oh, god damn it, can we even call this a movie, Florian? You motherfucker. You piece of shit. Fuck you, Florian. Why? And Eggy's here too. Hi, Eggy.
Yo.
Florian, why did you want to review the new Pinocchio movie?
What are you talking about? I'm telling you, hey, this new Pinocchio movie's bad, should we watch it? And you're like, yeah, let's do it.
Yeah, and then I watched it and I was like, oh, no, wait. No, this is really bad.
And it was bad? What a surprise.
But it wasn't even...
If only I'd known this information before.
When we watch Paul Blart 2, I know it's going to be bad, but I still enjoy myself. This movie, why the fuck is it 2 hours long?
I want to state something about that, actually, because so I just started watching the new Disney. I haven't watched any new Disney movie for probably 20 years. Something I'm realizing about Disney Plus is that whenever it says it ends, there's literally an additional 20 minutes of credits because they have to apparently translate this garbage into literally every language and every scripture that exists ever in human history. And for that, I am deeply saddened by the state of the world.
Well, it's very important that the kids know this influential tale, and this is the only way they can find out about it, so it had to be done.
To be clear, folks, when it comes to these Disney live-action remakes, and they've done 8 of them now, I have not seen any of them. I didn't see The Lion King or Cinderella or whatever the fuck they did Mulan. This is the first one I've seen, and I've had enough. Clearly, it's been said 100 times, but clearly it's just a cash grab. I don't know how a straight to Disney Plus movie is a cash grab, but I'm sure in some way, tax write-offs or something, it must be. With that being said, despite the race baiting of Little Mermaid, you could not pay me enough money to watch that. If it's gonna be as good as this Pinocchio movie, then fuck all of you. I'm never watching a Disney live-action remake again.
But this is gonna get thousands of views, and you'll have to.
What, the Little Mermaid review?
Yeah, everyone will need to hear your opinion, man.
I'm gonna be honest.
Are you gonna use the photoshopped white Little Mermaid for your thumbnail on that one?
I bet you will.
Somebody made a software, an AI, and they're going to put the entire movie through it, and it's going to change Ariel to be white for the whole film. So there will be a version of the film that Florian can enjoy. But just based on just everything that I saw in Pinocchio, I have no faith in any other live-action Disney remake of even being worth half a star.
To be honest, I really didn't think that this movie was that bad. I thought it was middle of the road.
Well, yeah, let's hear it. I want to hear you guys praise this great film.
I don't get how you're so offended at this. Did you see you never even saw the original. What's up? To you, this is a new story, so what was so bad about it?
Because I have seen Shrek 1 and Shrek 2, and the way that they treated Pinocchio, I thought was far more entertaining than anything in this film. When I think of Pinocchio, I think, okay, he tells a lie and his nose grows. That's basically the character, right? And then I watch this 2-hour fucking movie, and he tells one lie, his nose grows one time. The rest of the movie is fucking filler. I'm just here to see some wood get long.
And then he just uses it to escape a situation.
Yeah, and it never comes back. It never comes back. Instead, at the end of the movie, the big climax, when Pinocchio saves the day, it should have been some nose shenanigans. Instead, he turns his fucking feet into a motor, and he can push a boat with his feet 300 knots per second. What the fuck is going on? Now he has superpowers? What is happening?
Yeah. Oh yeah, it's just crazy how they never set up this fucking nose thing, and then the cricket says it's on the nose. Are you serious?
That's about as bad as the joke about since he's made of pine, his name should be Chris Pine.
Well, I like the Chris
Was that in the original?
Joke.
That was in the original, right?
No, it is not. I rewatched the original, so I will tell you all the things that have changed. Well, a few of them.
The original's only 55 minutes, right?
No, I think it's about an hour 20, maybe.
Oh, okay. Well, so they only added
the Dominican woman with a peg leg, was that in the original?
Nope.
And her sexy light-skinned puppet?
No.
No, that wasn't in there?
Okay, look, they weren't in there, and I think it's good that they're in there. Actually, I think they're great, but I'm sure you guys disagree. To me,
yep, I absolutely will 100%. Since straight up her whole like Mary Sue thing, where like, oh look at me, I'm so great. Look at my really creepy puppet. That's this really creepy CGI. It's so unsettling. It absolutely was the lowest point.
Like, she doesn't even save him. Like, she doesn't even do anything.
Yeah,
like,
and that's why the movie. That's why I thought it was good again after, because I'm like, oh god, is this gonna be like some kind of like dynamic duo? We have to like, she's gonna be all like, her creepy puppet that's so creepy is all in there, like really disturbing me. But she was only in there for such a short time that after about 10 minutes after that short scene, my enjoyment of the film began to regenerate a little bit, and so then it was all right.
But then how would you not find Pinocchio creepy? He's like the freakiest one of all.
The whole movie is creepy, and this movie reinvigorated my hatred for CGI. And I know you're not going to like that, Florian.
No!
I know you love CGI. This is a movie where unless you're Tom Hanks, you are a CGI character. Like, he has pets. He has a pet cat, completely CGI, which is whatever. Okay, cats are hard to train. Go for it, Disney. Make your fucking cartoon CGI cat. But then Tom Hanks has a pet goldfish. A motherfucking goldfish is not only CGI, but they give it big, sexy eyes, long eyelashes, is like fucking pouty lips, and pink blush on its face. They made his goldfish fucking horny and sexy.
No, he was already horny and sexy, okay? That goldfish.
Wait, it's a boy?
Sorry.
That was a boy goldfish.
Listen, Geppetto is like 70 years old, and how many years has he been sitting there by himself? He needs somebody to keep him intimate company, and you know what?
But if we're making a live-action movie, do we really need to make a cartoon goldfish? We can't just get a motherfucking real goldfish to sit in this bowl.
Look, the goldfish was a character that was taken from the original, and he kissed the cat, and he was dynamic, so they couldn't have made like a fake. They couldn't have made a real one.
Why not? Then why even make the movie? Don't say it's like the live-action Lion King again. Like, no, it's not live action. It's all fucking CGI. You're just doing animation again.
Well, no, they do a pretty different style in that one.
Why did the fish have to be sexy?
Because it was sexy in the original, man. He kissed the cat.
What the hell?
Jimmy, you're talking to a man who is part squid. He has a different lifestyle than we do. He has different appreciations than we do. So I'm going to give him leniency in this department.
Well, speaking of...
You can't blame the remake for something that was already in the original.
Yeah, that's what they say about She-Hulk, but I still blame it. Like, you made the choice to make the fish sexy again. But... speaking of creepy and perhaps sexy things, this movie stars Tom Hanks. And it's basically the only reason I was willing to watch it is because it stars Tom Hanks. And I don't know if you guys have heard the rumors about one T. Hanks, but some people think he might have been on Epstein's flight logs. He might have gone to Epstein's island for some fun. Right when Epstein was arrested, Tom Hanks renounced his American citizenship and moved to Greece immediately.
Holy shit.
And this is a movie where Tom Hanks is on his way to a place literally called Pleasure Island, and it's full of children with no adult supervision. If I'm Tom Hanks and they offer me this role, just based on the rumors alone, I would probably say no.
Wow.
That's very true, but, you know, not to get too ahead of myself here, but the Pleasure Island arc was absolutely the high point of the kino in this particular motion picture.
Well, you probably would enjoy the original Pleasure Island arc, Monkey, because it has smoking and actual drinking in it.
Yeah, they replace normal beer with root beer. Like, why are these naughty children being punished and turned into donkeys when they didn't actually commit any vice? They're just drinking root beer and smashing clocks. Yeah, smashing clocks is now like a criminal offense. You should be turned into a donkey. At least in the original, they were doing actual illegal shit. And maybe they deserve to be punished for peer pressuring poor Pinocchio. That's a lot of P's in a row.
Yeah. Oh, I guess. I mean, you just should have seen the smoking scenes. They were quite crazy. Just
I have seen the animated version of the kids turning into donkeys, and that is Kino. In this movie, they kind of pussyfoot around with it, like they show it in shadow rather than showing it on screen. I guess too much CGI. You know, they didn't want to spend too much on this movie.
Yeah, it would have looked weird, huh? Imagine that. So I think Tom Hanks was the worst part of the movie.
Yeah. I mean, every part of the movie was the worst part, but Tom Hanks was not good.
Yeah, he was just awful.
This is supposed to be a musical, I have to assume. Like, was the original more of a musical than this one?
I think it was less of a musical, actually.
Well,
I think there was more singing here.
This movie feels like it's ashamed and embarrassed to be a musical, because every song, like, it'll end after 3 or 4 stanzas. Like, they don't even do the whole song. They'll do it for like 20 seconds and stop. And Tom Hanks's character does not sing. He will literally mumble the lyrics to a song while the instrumental plays in the background. And he's doing it like in his, French accent, whatever stupid accent he's trying to do. I had to turn on the closed captioning to understand what he was saying.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, it does not sound Italian at all, does it?
Oh, it's supposed to be Italian. Okay. Well, yeah, I didn't get any of that. Danny DeVito in Hercules was a better singer than Tom Hanks in this movie, and Danny DeVito also just read the words.
Well, Danny DeVito was pretty good, I assume.
Yeah, he's great.
Well, he is in that new show called Little Devil, and I kind of didn't appreciate him in that, but yeah, he definitely was good in his day.
He's still good on It's Always Sunny. I actually just caught up to that show, and people say, oh, they lost their edge. Whatever. I think it's still very funny.
Is that still going? Jesus.
It is still going. Eggy, what are your defenses of the Pinocchio movie?
Well, basically, I actually, once again, the CGI was pretty atrocious in some areas, but which, I mean, just very off-putting, very jarring. There's films that there's CGI employed that it's not quite so jarring, but the 2 trickster cats, the cat and the fox or whatever at the point. Pinocchio basically is going to school. He gets sent to school because I guess that makes you a real person. Just kidding, makes you a robot NPC. Anyway, so they're sending him to school, or Geppetto sends him to school, and he kind of gets lost on his way, and he gets picked up by these cats, and they're like, "Of course you got kicked out of school. That's for the normies. You're a brilliant artist that nobody understands." And I'm like, yeah, that's right. So
this is confusing to me.
Those guys are pretty good.
So this is a world that is not. It's clearly a magical world. We have human-sized animals like a fox walking on his 2 feet and talking. So like this is a mythical world, and yet the school kicks Pinocchio out for not being a real boy. Motherfucker, we have 6-foot-tall foxes walking around with monocles and smiling at the camera trying to make furries masturbate. And you have a problem with a boy made out of wood? Is this a magical world or not?
Well, the fox himself was surprised that there was a wooden boy, so clearly it's not that magical.
Either the world is a magical world or it's a normal world. And if you live in a magical world with crazy, wacky characters walking around, the teacher should not be discriminating against a wacky, magical creature.
Well, maybe it's kind of like Los Angeles, where most of the people are poor and like living on the street, and then all of a sudden, like sometimes a rich person walks by, and you like turn your head, you're like, whoa, so maybe it's kind of like that. Like it's out there, but you just never really see it.
Did either of you get horny looking at this fox?
No.
No. Okay, I was worried about you, Florian.
I just saluted his dedication.
If it was a girl, then maybe,
What was the fox's name? Honest Tom or something?
John, I think.
Honest John? Yeah, he is, the best character in the movie, but I don't like looking at him. He's freaky looking.
Well, he was also in the original, just so you know.
Oh, so. Great. But I'm guessing he looked like a cartoon and not like an abomination?
Yeah, I don't... He did look like a cartoon, but I think he looked better than... Well, at least Pinocchio. I think he looks really good because of the fur.
So you are a furry. You are into that.
No, I just like the more realistic, like, CGI stuff more. Like, what the hell is Pinocchio? Why is his face, It just looks like really low poly CGI. It's so bizarre. Why didn't they make it, have actual wooden parts that would open?
Well, not to be too spoilers or anything like that, but at the end, when the tears rolling down his cheek and it kind of zooms in, you kind of see they're going for like it looks low poly for most of the film, and it's, whatever, but like when they kind of get in a little bit closer, you can kind of see where they were going. Like they were kind of trying to go with like it's just kind of finished wood, so that's why it appears a little bit less detailed, but when it kind of does that little zoom in, it's a little bit more noticeable. But just to finish my defenses here, secondary, I would say the performance scene where he's out with the guy, and he's the guy's playing the music and the whole puppet numbers and all that when he's out on the stage. I did enjoy that. I thought that was entertaining, even though it's all CGI and but anyways, compared to the rest of the film, it was entertaining. And then the pinnacle for me, in terms of enjoyment, was the Pleasure Island arc. I enjoyed the juxtaposition with the little musical number when they're on the carriage. I thought that guy was pretty lively, that actor. I thought the song was all right, and then even though that it's kind of like a dumbed down Pleasure Island, I still enjoyed basically the message that if you succumb to vice, aka Satan and the devil's ways, that you will be turned into a donkey and sent to burn in hell for eternity. So I thought that was a really good Christian message in the movie that we've been missing. So those were probably the top parts of the film for me.
What about you, Florian? What were your standout scenes?
I kind of like the puppet show where they put on the show. But I just generally like the story of the movie. I'm just like astounded at some of the artistic choices, like how hideous they made the goldfish and Pinocchio himself. I know his original design is in fact like that, so it makes sense they would translate that way. Like, why the hell is his face like morphing and like if it was soft, even though it's wood? But then his body is carved and you can see that it's got hinges and stuff, so why did they not do the face? And then when they translated it into CGI, that looked horrible. But I just like the story, and I feel like it's not told very well in both of them, in my opinion. But I like the idea of him just going into the world and maybe becoming real, even though he may not have become real at the end of this one, which was a weird choice they did.
Well, this is a movie where the entire plot relies on just Tom Hanks being a complete idiot, and I don't really like it when a plot relies on like a main character just being the biggest retard imaginable.
Or does it?
Tom Hanks makes his little Pinocchio boy, and they spend a couple of weeks together, hanging out, doing father and son shit. It's very cute, whatever. And then Tom Hanks decides, you know what? I'm done hanging out with my son. I'm going to send him to school. he takes him outside. For the first time in his life, Pinocchio has never been outside. We know this because he points up at the sun and says, "What is that?" And Tom Hanks has to explain what the sun is. So this is a small boy, a couple of weeks old, literally so stupid he doesn't know what the sun is. But Tom Hanks says, okay, find your own way to school. Most parents, all the way up until like third grade will probably take their kid to school on the first day. Tom Hanks, no, fuck it. The 3-week-old son who doesn't know what the sun is, you find your own way, don't get lost, make sure you come back at 5, and then he's shocked that Pinocchio doesn't make it back. Like, motherfucker, why didn't you just take him to school? Maybe you could explain to the teacher that to you, he is a real boy, respect his motherfucking pronouns, and let him get an education.
That's right.
Yeah, okay, that's the part that is definitely stupid.
Why would he send him out alone?
Yeah, it was the same way in the original, so I guess they had to do it that way. But yeah, it's definitely stupid. I guess it would have made sense more if he had gone to school several times, and only then would he get seduced by the fox. But I guess they really had to tell this story in a really quick way, so they didn't have time to handhold him
it's
to
2
school.
hours long.
Oh, wait. So Florian, refresh my memory. So in the original telling, so he does eventually become a completely real boy, correct? Is that right?
Yeah, he does in the end.
Okay, so here's what I think. Obviously this film, it's not shying away from the red pill. So basically Geppetto, he's an aged man. He has a child that he doesn't know how to take care of. It's a analogy for the modern state of bad parenting. And so he's like, well, I don't know what to do. You just go to school. And so he sends him out kind of wayward. He goes to school.
And also, Pinocchio is not a real boy, but he wishes he was a real boy. So there's a real transgender allegory here. And of course, by the end, Tom Hanks teaches him the lesson. You don't need to be a boy. Just accept the way you are, motherfucker. Which, real red pill.
The real red pill was that because, maybe he was forced out into the system. He wasn't able to get his full humanity because he was robbed by the society of being able to achieve his full potential. But actually, I suppose the transgender analogy could also work. It's it's really two sides of a coin, possibly. The red pill or a different kind of pill, something that you get from the doctor.
Well, I don't like the transgender analogy, but I like the fact that he doesn't transition in the end because he's...
That's right. That's right. Accept yourself the way you are. That's a great lesson for these children.
Yeah, it's so bizarre how in the original show it's like, yeah, if you go to the circus and you use your talents to make a living, that's bad. We don't do that. What we do is we go to school, and acting is bad.
Yeah, on his very first performance, they're throwing coins at Pinocchio at the end for like 30 seconds. Like he just made like 10 grand from one dance. Why would I ever go to school?
Yeah, well, I guess because you gotta be real. Because you won't
stupid.
count. Yeah,
Pinocchio, fuck school, man. He's already got it made.
Which is why I like that they introduced the other puppet character and the black girl, because that way we see that there is in fact a good side to the acting, which we didn't have in the original. He just like immediately got locked up, and then I guess acting was a bad idea. So
to clarify, she's Afro-Latina. Just to make sure that we have that clear here. She does bring a certain flair. She performs music with some Latin tang to it, and it was good. I felt maybe it wasn't particularly fitting the whatever time period this is situated in, which I'm not entirely certain. I don't think they had that music invented yet, but you know what?
Whatever time period has foxes walking around on two legs.
I think she was probably the originator, of a beautiful culture with her, her musical stylings, and I'm sure she, in that universe, went on to be very successful with her entourage. So good for her.
Yeah, I do like that Pinocchio is too shy to talk to the woman, so that woman has to talk to him through her puppet. I guess that's cool.
Yeah, I really don't know why you didn't like the look of the puppet.
It was somewhere between like. It kind of like had like this Bratz doll thing going on.
Definitely.
I don't know. Yeah, like I feel like I don't know. Just I guess if it had been more puppety, it might have been a little more disturbing. I don't know. I just feel like I don't know. It just didn't really rub me the right way. Like she, was a nice gal. Maybe they could add a little bit of one-on-one because obviously she could already like talk to him without the puppet. But yeah, like one of the thing is too, like all of a sudden, how it's like. When he's doing the performance and he gets his nose stuck in the floor, he could have possibly excuse me, she all of a sudden just like the puppet like comes to life like so fluidly that I was just like, whoa, is she like another magical puppet? But no, like her, just because it has to, be talked through, it has like these unusually expressive emotions that are just a little ill-fitting. I don't know. It's just something about it just didn't sit completely perfectly with me, but that's just a little gripe.
Did you have something to say, Florian?
Not to that particularly, no.
Well, I want to ask you guys about this. I think there was a mistake made in the film towards the beginning. This character comes down from like a wishing shooting star, and she reveals herself to be the blue fairy, but I think there was a mistake in the script. It should have been the black fairy. Am I right, folks?
Wow. Just all about race, huh?
Why? I mean, I don't care that the magic fairy is black, but why do they have to cast a bald black woman? Wouldn't a fairy magic be able to give you a luscious head of hair?
Well, it's clearly a choice.
Yeah, a poor choice. Ladies, either put on the wig or put up with the alopecia, but I don't know. Don't put it in my movie.
Big old. Actually, was that Jada Pinkett Smith that played that?
It might have been.
I guess I wasn't paying attention. It sounded, she had a British accent, so I don't know. But I don't know, man. Was Jada Pinkett Smith been living in Britain? I don't really keep up. Besides when people are getting slapped.
Well, Florian, they all look the same to you, right? So you probably couldn't tell.
Well, I certainly didn't know who it was. No.
I mean,
the music was good, so I'll give her that. But when she's like leaving the window at the end of the song, it's like she's green screen, like with like the CGI, like fairy dust around her or whatever, and like the positioning of it is that she's just like, it's like you can just see where it was green screened, and it's being like resized smaller and smaller as like she quote unquote flies out the window. Like you have the camera just kind of going towards the window, and she's just like shrinking, and it was noticeable to me. Yeah,
it had like YouTube video special effects.
I don't know what the budget was,
but that sounds fun.
Yeah.
When I was talking about Tom Hanks going to Pedo Island in the movie, I guess we should have pointed out that his name is the Pedo, so it all fits.
Oh wow, what a character!
Yeah, Tom Hanks should not have taken this role for real. Like it's ruining his reputation in more than one way. Like it's a shitty movie, a bad performance, and it's just reminding people of the shit he did.
Yeah, honestly, to me, it was like, why would anyone even cast Tom Hanks? He's like so bad. I guess all you got is his face. That's like.
Well, I mean, I think he's good in every other movie. I'm a big Tom Hanks fan. I could separate art from the artist for sure, but this movie was not it.
Well, this movie has erased all the good memories I had of him.
Wow! Tom Hanks' character, the pedo, of course, he has all these cuckoo clocks, and they go off every hour on the hour, no matter what. So, like, when he's asleep, midnight rings, and there's 30 clocks just screaming in his ear and waking him up every hour. No wonder why he thinks his fucking doll came to life. He's sleep deprived as fuck. And one of the cuckoo clocks has Woody from Toy Story pop out of it, and I was like, oh wait, that was Tom Hanks. Oh, that's epic.
And then all the other Disney movies came up.
Yeah, I was gonna say cuckoo clocks, more like Funko clocks. You know what I'm saying? Because they're all fucking filled with cartoon characters and stuff. So Geppetto might have been the original Soy Jack. He gets no women. He has to make fake little boys to pretend like he has somebody in his life, and he sits around collecting themed clocks all day that apparently he made, but I don't think he has the intellectual property of those things to be able to actually have those, and maybe that's why he doesn't sell them. He couldn't legally do so.
Well, yeah, so am I supposed to believe that this character living in, I assume, the 1800s is aware of who Woody is from Toy Story? What the fuck's going on?
Clearly,
he invented these characters.
Yeah, Walt Disney just bought all these clocks, and he just really just came up with stories for them. All right,
and that is
that way.
You just reminded me. That is my favorite part of the movie. Unironically, is that Tom Hanks? He has all these cuckoo clocks. He refuses to sell them. They have too much sentimental value to him. But then, when Pinocchio is missing, he sells all of his clocks so that he can afford to go look for him. I thought that was a very sweet moment.
Yeah, I don't think even that. I don't even think they had that part. I might be wrong, but yeah, it was definitely great. Do you think Disney was setting up some kind of failed attempt of having a clock toy line?
I guarantee you can buy those clocks already.
Hell yeah!
Maybe not the specific cuckoo ones, but I'm pretty sure I had a Disney-themed clock of some kind growing up, so they're out there.
Well, it's got to be the cuckoo ones, and they've got to be sure that kids don't smash them. That's why that part was in the movie, Gotta appreciate your clocks, man.
Do you think when Tom Hanks was at Epstein Island, he was, saying Woody lines to all the kids? Like, howdy, partner, it's me, Woody. Come touch my Woody.
Actually, hold on. Come to think of it, so I was like, well, yeah, it doesn't really make sense. Why are they smashing the clocks? Is this like a straight up Pinocchio diss? Maybe it's actually deeper than that. Pleasure Island, aka Epstein Island, everyone's smashing clocks because they don't want time to continue, because they want time frozen, because everyone that goes to Pleasure Island named Tom Hanks, aka Epstein's Island, they only want people of a certain age, aka they don't want the time to continue where they get older.
They
So that's
wanted
why it's
Disney
part of the
themed.
island.
They wanted Disney themed clocks, but they got Disney themed cocks instead.
And then they actually enslaved the children as well. Wow, this is like really messed up, actually.
It's Tom Hanks' autobiography by accident.
I mean, art imitates life, so maybe Epstein was inspired by the original Pinocchio, and now the remake is inspired by him.
Oh, man.
Yeah, it's a full circle.
And I think that's definitely the message that the movie sends.
Is there anything else to say about this?
Well, the lying scene in the original was pretty interesting. You think when you hear about Pinocchio, you just like think, oh, he's just like a frivolous liar. But what actually happened is that it was like a really important scene where he was supposed to be a good boy, as the fairy said, and then the fairy reappears and she's asking, have you been a good boy? And he makes up all these lies because, I mean, his life is on the line. Wouldn't you lie? So it makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, why'd they cut all that out of this movie? There's very, very little lying, and I was like genuinely upset about that. I thought that's what the character was, and instead he's just like a gullible retard the whole movie.
Well, he's still that as well, yeah.
But I want to see him like take some initiative, have authority over his own story, start telling lies to get what he wants. But no, he's just like pushed around and bullied the whole time.
Yeah, he only, like in the original, only uses it to save his life as well. So no frivolous lies, tragically. So
that's why Shrek is better.
Well, obviously Shrek is better. Shrek is probably like the best one of them,
Yeah, but as I said on Twitter, as a Pinocchio movie, Shrek is better.
That's true.
Yeah, I mean, sure. I mean, Shrek might be better than any Disney movie, but maybe not.
At the end, when Pinocchio is pushing the boat with his motor legs that he magically has now, did you guys think of David Hasselhoff from the SpongeBob SquarePants movie?
No.
It was basically that again, but instead of, it being funny because it's David Hasselhoff, it's just a deus ex machina that this character can now do this.
And it was like, it wasn't even like well done in any way. It's just like, I was so confused. What's pushing the boat? Like his feet weren't even going like 360 degree or anything. What?
He's just kicking so fast that he can outrun a giant sea monster.
With tentacles. Yeah, it's bizarre.
Which, when Pinocchio's on his way to meet Tom Hanks in the middle of the ocean, he's being pulled by a seagull, but now it looks like he could have just swam by himself and would have gone 800 times faster.
Yeah.
What was even the point?
And then they had that scene where they were approaching each other really fast, but they were never actually getting there.
They're never getting closer. They have like a 3-minute conversation.
Yeah, water's really magical in this one.
I also like how when Tom Hanks is going out on his quest to find Pinocchio, he brings not only his cat, but also the goldfish in the bowl with him everywhere he goes, which is just insane.
If that doesn't imply a deep romantic connection, I don't know what does. You wouldn't leave your wife at home. Listen, this guy's
yes,
like 7
I
years
would.
old. He's been out here. He's doing, you ever heard of, what do they call that? Hot glue or whatever. He's been making all these dolls. Nobody knows what's really going on. He doesn't talk to anybody. He doesn't have any friends. He has a shop that doesn't sell anything. It's only open 1 hour a day. Basically, there's a lot of unresolved traumas going on here. I don't know. It's pretty disturbing. In any case, I think the film completely wasted 1 hour and 52 minutes of my life, and I'm going to actively go about deleting every portion of it to regain that free memory in my brain.
Yeah, as soon as this podcast is over, I'm going to forget about it.
Wow. I can't believe you're coming down on it this hard, Eggy. Wow.
The climax is just terrible. Like, the final act is horrendous, like, as soon as they get to the fish monster.
Yeah, it seems weirdly rushed, right? When the rest of it was taking
so
a little
well
more time.
drawn out, yeah.
Yeah, like the last 10 minutes is them sitting on the beach, like holding each other and crying. Like they don't even ever make it back home.
Well, I mean, you can assume they can get back home, I guess.
And that's what I want to see. I want the final scene to be like them finally back at home, because ever since Pinocchio left for school, we've never seen him back home again. Like he's been gone for an hour and a half. Can we at least have like the happy ending and not just them crying on a beach? But whatever, that's a nitpick. I hated this movie. I'm never gonna watch a live action Disney movie again unless an AI can turn a black man white for some reason.
Oh, is that what we're gonna watch then?
No,
Okay.
I'm not watching either version of the film.
But you just said.
I was joking. There's no way. If they're all of this level, I would literally be wasting my time.
Listen, all I'm saying is that if LeBron James was the live-action Pinocchio, this movie would have maybe been some real kino, but there's a thin line between love and hate. I'm away from those. I don't necessarily hate it. It's just nothing to me. It did nothing for me. It was, having to watch it for a podcast, I could say, well, this part was better than the other part. Otherwise, I'm never coming back to it.
I would rather watch She-Hulk again.
Well, trust me, you don't want to watch She-Hulk again. The jokes are so bad at the second time watching it. But Pinocchio
You've watched it more than once?
I've tried and I couldn't because it was so lame.
How desperate for content to watch are you that you're trying to watch She-Hulk a second time? You've never seen The Sopranos.
Look, I really wanted to dive deep. I've seen The Sopranos. I wanted to dive deep.
You've never seen The Wire and you're watching She-Hulk again.
I've seen like most of The Wire.
Okay, I gotta think of a good show you haven't seen so I can really nail you here.
Look, I watch a lot of stuff, okay, but
You've never seen Slippin' Jimmy.
I have. We reviewed it. But yeah, this one was probably like the most hated of the live action remakes.
Until the Little Mermaid came out, I think that is by far that has over 1 million thumbs down on YouTube.
Wait, it's out already?
The trailer has 1 million thumbs down with 7 million views.
Yeah, but from the trailer of this, you wouldn't have known it would have been this bad, right? It had Tom Hanks.
Yeah.
Well, if you have a baseball player, let's say, for instance, who has played, let's say, 10 major games and he has never hit a ball once, you're probably going to just assume, based on statistics, that the 11th game isn't going to go particularly well for him. And I could say it seems to be a pretty good bead on the live-action Disney remakes thus far, in my opinion.
Well, but we usually watch terrible stuff to review it for fun.
So true. So true.
So thank you, Disney, for catering to our needs so we can make podcasts.
Yeah, I mean, like this and Pixels, having to review those back to back. I've been having a bad week.
Oh, really?
Yeah, not great. Do you guys have any final thoughts and or things you want to plug? I think we're done here.
Well, I like this universe. I really wish it would have been more explored. It's too bad that, well, they remade the movie, but the movie already didn't cover much of it. I would have liked watching Pinocchio grow up. I would have enjoyed like one of those shows where they make a series out of them. But sadly, no, because everyone hates it. Oh well.
You want more of this?
Yeah, I could have more of this.
Where's your Letterboxd review, motherfucker? I have not seen you on Letterboxd in weeks.
Well, I never review. Oh, actually, I mean, I usually try not to write them before the kino, but I guess I probably should.
Yeah, I gave this a 1 star and just made fun of Tom Hanks as my review. So.
Yeah, I could go in there with a deep analysis of how it was different from the original. Wow, yeah.
I mean, unless you're just shitting on something like The Northman, I don't know if I need to read an actual critical analysis from you.
Also, I guess my final thought, I'm just going to interject, I have nothing to plug. The way that Pinocchio's voice actor approached his lines reminded me of some like Coco Melon shit, so that was also pretty terrible.
Yes.
Oh man,
that's all I got to say.
I forgot about how annoying some of the voices were. Oh, Jesus. Like, the cricket was so bad, and Pinocchio was so squeaky. It was like Mickey Mouse.
Do we know who the voice actor for Jiminy Cricket was? Because somebody told me it was Joseph Gordon-Levitt, and I don't believe them. I could look it up. Joseph Gordon-Levitt, he was the sidekick in Inception. He's in a lot of stuff, really.
Yeah, according to Google.
That was him?
That is correct.
That's funny.
Wow.
That didn't sound like him, honestly. That's pretty good. But that character sucked. The cricket face is so scary and hideous.
Yeah, oh my god, so ugly. And like, why does he have to break the fourth wall? I'm pretty sure they don't do that as much or at all.
Oh, yeah, he's narrating the movie, and then like him as the narrator is talking to the past version of himself in the opening scene, like, oh hey, I'm you from the end of the movie. And he's like, oh, can you tell me what happens? And he says, nope, fuck you.
Yeah, that was so awful. Oh my god.
Well, it's way too meta at that point when the narrator is talking to himself in the past. Like is this even a story anymore? What's going on?
Like what the hell are babies gonna think is happening here? This isn't some kind of Rick and Morty shit. It doesn't make any sense for him to do that.
So you don't think that the small children will appreciate the Chris Pine joke? I
mean, I like the Chris Pine joke.
You liked it?
Well, what's wrong with it?
Whatever.
I mean, it's a name that makes sense, but they couldn't use it because they wouldn't get the rights, I assume, or whatever.
Does Chris Pine exist in this universe as well?
Maybe.
He's like abusing people on the set of his shitty feminist movie?
No, he doesn't exist. No.
All right, when I went to look up the whole, voice of Jiminy Cricket thing, I guess the person who did Pinocchio's voice is literally like 12 years old, so I'll give him a little bit of a pass. He hasn't really done much of anything too much else in his career yet, so I don't want to be too harsh on a literal child.
Yeah, I'll give him credit, because they usually just get a 50-year-old woman to voice a child, like a boy. So if they got an actual 12-year-old boy, good for them.
Yeah, well, they must have pitched him up, because he was insufferable. Like voice-wise.
I mean, if it was Nancy Cartwright doing it, it would have been even worse.
Yeah. Well, the joke I really hated was how they were saying Pinocchio, because he's made of pine, and they made that joke 3 times, and it wasn't in the original, and it's how it should have been. Damn it.
Yeah. In the original, did they not explain where the name came from? He just named him that?
No! Yeah, he just named him. Imagine, if that's the writing we would employ. Well, they only had one line later that he's made of pine, but they didn't bring up his name.
I like that he tap dances so fast that he bursts into flame. That's pretty cool. So being made of pine actually paid off. But for the Pinocchio is a kino, I think we're done here, right, boys?
Yes.
Yep. I've been Simian Jimmy.
And everyone check out my Rick and Morty video. Bye.
This has been Eggman Rodriguez signing off. A peace.